$900,000. That's what a 3-bedroom detached house with a backyard, a garage, and a finished basement costs in Toronto right now. Not in Barrie, not in Hamilton, inside the 416. A financial analyst and a grade school teacher came to me after renting in King West for about 8 years. Before that, they owned a condo near Queen Spadina that they sold in 2021 for $585,000. They banked the profit. Then they watched house prices climb to 1.3 mil. They decided they missed the window. They told me their budget was $1 million max. They assumed that meant a semi with no parking somewhere in maybe the Junction if they were lucky. They had never looked east of the DVP. They never heard the Western pockets where detached homes sell for under $800,000. When I showed them the map, the teacher said, "Why did nobody tell us about this?" Today, I'm going to show you exactly what she saw. East End, West End, real sold prices, and the move-up math that makes it work. I pulled every detached sale in 3 East End pockets over the last 180 days. And here's what I found. Birchcliff, Cliffside. Median sale price, $879,000. That gets you a 3-bedroom detached bungalow or a raised bungalow with a finished basement on a 30 by 120 foot lot. Walking distance to the Scarborough Bluffs. 2 new parks under construction. The Kingston Road revitalization is adding restaurants and retail. A specific example, a bungalow at 79 Hollis Avenue sold for $900,000. 2 bedrooms up, 1 down, 4 days on the market. Walking distance to the Bluff, 20-minute drive to King and Bay. Wexford, Maryville, median sale price, $862,000. Slightly more urban feel. Closer to the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Lot size are about 35 by 110. They have garages, mature trees, and backyard big enough for a trampoline and a garden. A raised bungalow at 1 Cladius Gate sold for $865,000. 3 bedrooms plus 1. Garage, 2 days on the market. And that's why it sold so quickly. The deals are there. Clearly, Birchmount. Median sale price, $895,000. The pocket sits between Warden and VP, south of Eglinton. Slightly higher price because you get larger homes with extra bedrooms. Families upgrading from condos land here when they need the room. A bungalow on 90 Trinell Boulevard sold for $901,000. 3 bedrooms plus 1. 3 days on the market. Close to Warden Station and the Danforth. That is the east side of the city. Now let me show you the west side because the deals are not limited to one end of Toronto. When people say West End Toronto, they picture the Junction, Bloor West, Roncy. Those neighborhoods are beautiful. They are also 1.2 million and up for detached home, and that needs work. But 10 minutes north of those pockets, there are West End neighborhoods where detached homes sell for $600,000 to $900,000. Talk about Mount Dennis. This neighborhood is at Eglinton and Weston Road. It is getting a crosstown LRT station. Detached bungalows and 2 stories here have been selling around $790,000. Similar lot size to the East End. Similar vintage homes. And 10 minutes to the Junction by car. Rockcliffe Smythe, just south of Mount Dennis along Jane Street. Quiet residential tree-lined streets. Detached sales in the last 6 months have been ranged about $580,000 to $1.25 mil, with a median of $890,000. These are 1950s bungalows on 30 to 35 front lot with garages and full basements. Caledonia and Fairbank, east of Dufferin, south of Eglinton, a pocket that gets overlooked because it sits between 2 premium neighborhoods. The median sale price is $910,000. You get a detached house for what a 2-bedroom condo costs in Liberty Village. Keelsdale, Eglinton West, north of St. Clair, along Keel. Another crosstown adjacent neighborhood with detached homes at a median of $813,000. Now that the LRT construction is finished, the prices will not stay where they are. Let me put this one on the screen. The average detached house in the Junction sold for $1.19 mil in the last 6 months. Bloor West Village, $1.125 mil. Roncesvalles, $1.13 mil. High Park North, $1.18 mil. Now let's compare that to the value pockets. Birchcliff, $879. Wexford, $862. Mount Dennis, $795. Rockcliffe Smythe, $899. This is a $300,000 to a $400,000 spread. Same number of bedrooms, same lot sizes. I hear the same objections, but those are not the same neighborhoods. Let me address 3 things that people actually worry about. Commute. King West to Union Station is about 12 minutes by streetcar if you're lucky. Birchcliff to Union, about 22 minutes by GO. Mount Dennis to Union, 18 minutes by the Up Express. The commute difference is about 6 to 10 minutes. Obviously, that's without traffic. That is what $300,000 discount cost you? Schools. Check the Fraser Institute grading for the specific school your child would attend, not the neighborhood average. Some schools in these pockets score well, but make sure you do your homework on this. And rankings change year over year. If schools matters to you, research the exact school before making any offer. So those are real addresses at real prices. I go through data like this every week, showing you how to budget, how to make a move up. I'm just shy of 900 subs right now, and I'll greatly appreciate it if you subscribe so I can keep on making videos just like this. Let me run the numbers for both sides of the city. Same couple I mentioned. Combined income, $230,000. They sold their condo in 2021, $240,000 saved. Currently renting about $2,800 per month in King West. So East End, $879,000. So the buy, East End detached house at $879,000. Down payment, $240,000. That is 27% down, so no CMHC insurance. Mortgage, $639,000. 5-year fixed rate, 3.99%. Monthly mortgage payments, $3,358,000. Add property tax at $476,000 per month. Heating, about $180,000. Total carrying on a house, $14,014. They're paying $2,800 in rent right now. The house costs $4,014. That is about $2,200 difference per month. So, but on average, about $1,300 of it goes towards the payment, goes straight to the principal. That's forced savings. That's the equity you keep. Rent builds zero. After 5 years of payments, they will have roughly built about $83,000 in equity through principal pay down. That is before any appreciation. In the rental, they would have spent $168,000 over 5 years and own nothing. Stress test check. At $230,000 income combined and try and get a mortgage over a little bit over $600,000, they way more than qualify, well under the 39% limit. Now the West End, same couple, same $240,000. A detached house in Mount Dennis or Rockcliffe Smythe at $750,000. That is 32% down, so no CMHC. Mortgage, $510,000. Monthly payments, $2,680. Property tax, $406 per month. Heating, about $180 again. Total monthly carry cost, $3,266. That is a little bit over $400 more than what the rent is. The principal portion pay down averages about $1,102 per month. And that goes straight to equity. Stress test, they more than qualify because they're at more than 20% GDS ratio. Put the two side by side. The East End house costs a little bit more than $1,000 more than rent per month, but builds $83,000 in equity over 5 years. The West End house costs about a little bit over $400 more per month and builds $66,000 worth of equity. Either way, you stop paying someone else's mortgage and start building your own. Here's the first trap from people not making the move. They're anchoring their old purchase price. So you buy your condo for say $650,000 in 2019. It is roughly worth about $545,000 today. That $100,000 paper loss feels like a reason to stay. But the house you want also dropped. If you had bought at the same time, the condo lost more than the house did. So the net cost of making the trade right now, it's much smaller than the gap between the two sticker prices. And every month you wait, you're paying condo fees that build zero equity, while the house buyer next door is building ownership and land that holds its value. Trap 2, compare monthly costs without counting your condo fees. You see $400,000 a month on the house and compare it to your condo mortgage of $2,200. But you're also paying the $600 to $800 a month in maintenance fees on top of that. When you sell the condo, those fees disappear. So the real gap between your total housing cost now and the house carry is much smaller than the sticker shock suggests. Trap 3, not knowing these neighborhoods exist. I track where my inquiries come from. The vast majority of move-up buyers search Junction, Leslieville, Bloor West. Less than 10% ever have searched Birchcliff, Wexford, Mount Dennis, or Rockcliffe Smythe. These are not secrets, but they are invisible to buyers whose entire mental map stops at the neighborhoods they brunch in. And that invisibility is your advantage right now. There's less competition, more inventory, better prices. The people who are buying these pockets today are getting the deal of 2026, but only if you actually go look. If you're serious about looking east or west, 4 things to check before you make an offer. Number 1, basement height. A lot of these bungalows were built in 1950 and 1960. Ceiling height in the basement is often 6 feet or 6'2". If you want a legal basement suite for rental income, you need 6 feet 5 inches minimum under Ontario Building Code. Check before you fall in love with the backyard. 2, block grading and drainage. Some of these pockets sit on slopes. Water runs downhill. Walk the lot after a rainstorm. Check the foundation walls for efflorescent. That's the white chalky residue. It means water is pushing through the foundation. Number 3, knob and tube wiring. Homes built before 1950, they still have active knob and tube. Most insurance companies will not cover it. Budget $8,000 to $15,000 for a full rewire if the inspection flags it. 4, the tree canopy. These neighborhoods have some of the oldest trees in Toronto. That means shade, privacy, and character. Also means roots in your sewer line. Ask the seller for a camera scope of the drain or budget a few $100s to do your own. So that couple, the analyst and the teacher, they bought a raised bungalow in Birchcliff for $869,000. That was back in January. 3 bedrooms upstairs, and they had +1 downstairs. Detached garage, backyard with 40-year-old maple tree. Their mortgage payment is $3,200. Their old rent was $2,800. The teacher set up her classroom planning desk in the basement. The analyst bikes to the GO station in 8 minutes. The daughter started school in Birchcliff Public School in September. She chose East. They had picked one that Western Pockets instead. The math would have been even easier. $750 for summer house, lower carrying costs, lower stress test, same bedrooms, same backyard, same city. $900,000 or less. That's what detached house costs in Toronto right now. East side, west side, your call. You just have to know where to look. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.